What's up, YouTube? Third Impact here, coming at you with another episode review of Space Dandy. Episode 6, already a quarter of the way through the series. Crazy. This episode is entitled The War of the Undies and the Vests, baby. And let's just jump right in. So in a similar fashion to last week, I'm just going to let you know a few of the people that worked on the episode to give you a better understanding of maybe why it was the way that it was. So the episode director for this episode was Michio Mihara, who's mainly known for his key animation in really good movies like Jinro, Millennium Actress, Princess Mononoke, Paprika. And the script was written by Dai Sato, who was the same guy who wrote the script for episode 2, one of my personal favorite episodes. So did this combination of talent culminate into something amazing, one of the more standout episodes of Space Dandy? Not quite. It was a good episode. It definitely had some amazing moments, but it also had some more boring moments too, which was a little too bad. Kind of felt like a mishmash of two different episodes, but I think it worked out pretty well in the end. It had a very strong finish. But also, like I was saying, how Michio Mihara was the episode director for this one, and he's mainly known for his key animation in these movies, that I think it's important to note one of the main things that stood out for me was the animation in this episode. Not necessarily throughout the entire thing. The scenes where they were conversing with these two new aliens, that was a little more boring, not a whole lot to show there. But I mean, some of the space battle stuff with the two ships chasing each other, and we're going to be getting into some spoilers now. The exchanging of the clothes, the epic battle between the two aliens, that was an amazing sequence. I loved that one a lot. And also the finale, of course, the galactic surfing at the end. So between the battle between the aliens, the surfing at the end, this episode has some of my favorite animation sequences in the show so far. So I think it really stood out that Michio Mihara was the episode director for this one, and that was also one of the strengths, was one of his strengths. So interesting there. But overall, not the most interesting episode. So this episode is about Danny and the crew discovering this planet that has been at war for 10,000 years. Everybody's dead except for these two last aliens. One only wears a vest, and one only wears undies. The one who only wears undies finds Dandy, who he strips and is wearing underwear, which makes him quite happy. And the vest-wearing alien discovers Meow, who doesn't wear pants and wears a vest, and that makes him quite happy. So, firstly, this episode was bringing me flashbacks to my One Piece videos that I'm not making, which was kind of scary. The battle between these two aliens seemed very reminiscent of Dory and Brogy's sort of battle, where they've been battling for years and years. They've forgotten why at this point, but it's just one of those things where the timer hits a certain mark, they meet up, they battle, the battle ends, and then they go their separate ways until next time. Which I'm sure is just drawing on some legend that I haven't done my research into. That is a parallel between all two, like these two stories and whatever the other one is that these are based on. But definitely getting some One Piece flashbacks, so that was kind of sad. And pretty much these guys are just constantly at war because neither of them thinks that the other is proper. They're both disgusted by the fact that one doesn't wear pants and that the other only wears a vest and that the one wears undies, and it's just ridiculous. It's completely stupid, completely ridiculous. But Meow and Dandy get pretty caught up in this whole thing, and it takes QT to reason that they should have a peace agreement made so that they can just settle all this stupidity and just move on and register these aliens. Because the only reason that they're not going to leave and get registered is because they're afraid the other one's going to sneak up on them and take their throne away while they're gone. So once this peace treaty is finally coming to fruition, they've gathered the two aliens together. One of the rules of this treaty is that they have to exchange their most valuable possessions. So the vest in the one guy's situation, the briefs in the others. And yeah, it seems like this exchange should settle their problems. That they shouldn't feel the same way that they do after they've given up these things that they've held on to for 10,000 years. But these negotiations don't go well. They're just way too pained to do it. They just can't. They throw their stuff away, and then they guns just come out of their chests that they catch, and they just start firing at each other. They are just missing, and then they start throwing their guns at each other. Then they start throwing rocks at each other. Then they just pick up these two giant boulders, and they just accidentally drop them on their heads and kill each other. Like, they kill themselves. And it's a hard scene to describe. You just kind of have to see how it all plays out. But I think it really emphasizes how stupid these two characters are. And how, for these 10,000 years, they've been having this fight over absolutely nothing. It's just completely dumb. And they both just die in a completely stupid, dumb fashion. They literally just pick up rocks and accidentally drop them on their own heads because they're too weak. So that's hilarious. Then they go to activate these self-destruct mechanisms that we've seen them talk about earlier in the episode. And then you're like, okay, we're reaching the end of the Dandy episode. They're going to blow up the planet. Ha ha ha. Dandy and QT and Meow get all blown up again. That's hilarious. But, like, at the same time, you're like, this has already happened before. Like, you know, a little something else has got to happen. Or there's got to be some crazy attempt at escaping. So QT just leaves them behind just exactly the same way how Dandy left Meow behind when the alien ate Meow. And then QT like around and like, come on, man, you gotta go back for your friend. And in this situation, QT is leaving like, I'll never forget you guys. Sorry, there's nothing I can do, which is hilarious. But then after QT takes off, he has an opportunity to drop a surfboard for Dandy. And it was established in this first scene that Dandy might have been a surfboarder at some point, or maybe he does. Then they also make fun of him, saying that he might be one of those guys who just collects surfboards but doesn't actually know how. And they kind of harass him, make fun of him. Then he has like a little speech that doesn't really go anywhere. You're just like, okay, Dandy, there's just another one of your useless speeches. But when he's dropped this surfboard, you're kind of like, okay, is he really gonna grab this surfboard and surf out of here? But it is 100 times more amazing than you could have possibly imagined it being. This awesome song kicks in, and he's just surfing with Meow for so long, just like off into the galaxy. He doesn't even fly back to the Aloha Oi. He just flies off into space with the Aloha Oi. And there's a really funny part where he does his thumbs up. There's like a thumbs up in every episode now, which is also great. He thumbs up the Aloha Oi and QT, and you see QT just a frame of him just staring back at Space Dandy, just with like this, just a QT face, but it doesn't change at all, and it just looks like he's like in complete amazement that Space Dandy's able to do this. But yeah, that was just fantastic. So that was the end of Space Dandy episode 6. It had a fantastic ending, which pretty much made up for the sequence between those two aliens fighting and that surfing sequence at the end, made up for anything else that could have happened in the episode. It's crazy to think that we're already a quarter of the way through this series, and next week is like a space race. So it looks like a Redline Space Dandy episode. Like, Space Dandy already looks like the protagonist of Redline, and now he's literally having an intergalactic space race with tons of colorful characters and crazy stuff. So, next episode looks like it's going to be a very colorful, action-packed racing episode. And then who even knows where this series is going to go after this, but I'm loving the show. It was really sad bringing up One Piece today, and I will hopefully see you guys soon. Peace.